Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Chapter 26. Flesh, Blood, and Bone. Harry watched in horror as Wormtail, Voldemort's servant, prepared a sinister ritual. A huge stone cauldron bubbled nearby, and Wormtail began the incantation. Bone of the Father, unknowingly given, you will renew your son. A fine trickle of dust rose from the grave at Harry's feet and fell into the cauldron. Flesh of the servant, willingly sacrificed, you will revive your master. Wormtail cut off his own hand, which fell into the cauldron with a sickening splash. Blood of the enemy, forcibly taken, you will resurrect your foe. Wormtail approached Harry, slicing his arm and collecting his blood. As the blood dripped into the potion, it turned a blinding white. Moments later, a dark figure rose from the cauldron. Lord Voldemort had returned. Chapter 27. The Death Eaters. Voldemort, now fully formed, called his Death Eaters. Dark-robed figures apparated into the graveyard. Forming a silent circle around their master, Voldemort addressed them, chastising their lack of loyalty during his absence. He rewarded Wormtail with a silver hand and turned his attention to Harry. Releasing Harry from his bonds, Voldemort challenged him to a duel. I'm going to prove that killing you was not mere chance, he hissed. As they faced each other, wands raised, Harry knew he was fighting for his life. Chapter 28. Priori Incantatum. Trucio! Voldemort cried, but Harry dodged. Expelliarmus! Harry shouted in desperation. The spells collided midair, and something extraordinary happened. A golden thread connected their wands, lifting them off the ground. A dome of golden light encased them, and beads of light slid along the thread. Harry, with all his might, forced the beads towards Voldemort's wand. Suddenly, echoes of Voldemort's previous spells emerged from his wand. Cedric appeared, then an old man, then a woman Harry recognized as Bertha Jorkins. Finally, the forms of Lily and James Potter emerged. When the connection is broken, we will linger for only moments, his father said, but we will give you time. You must get to the Portkey. It will return you to Hogwarts. Do you understand, Harry? Harry nodded, his heart racing. With a supreme effort, he broke the connection. The shadowy figures converged on Voldemort, giving Harry just enough time to summon the Triwizard Cup. Accio! Harry yelled, grabbing Cedric's body, as the Portkey whisked him back to Hogwarts. Chapter 29. Veritaserum. Harry landed hard on the Hogwarts grounds, still clutching Cedric's lifeless body. The crowd's cheers quickly turned to screams of horror. Amidst the chaos, Moody pulled Harry away from the scene. But instead of taking him to the hospital wing, he brought Harry to his office, bombarding him with questions about Voldemort's return. Suddenly, the door burst open. Dumbledore, McGonagall, and Snape stormed in, wands drawn. They stunned Moody, who, to everyone's shock, began to transform. The Polyjuice potion was wearing off, revealing not Alastor Moody, but Barty Crouch Jr. Under the influence of Veritaserum, Crouch Jr. confessed to everything, impersonating Moody, putting Harry's name in the Goblet of Fire, turning the Triwizard Cup into a Portkey, all to ensure Harry's delivery to Voldemort. Chapter 30. The Parting of the Ways. In Dumbledore's office, Harry recounted the night's horrific events. Sirius, in his dog form, sat by Harry's side, offering silent comfort. When Fudge arrived, instead of taking action against Voldemort, he refused to believe Harry's account. He had Crouch Jr. kissed by a Dementor, destroying their key witness. He can't be back, Dumbledore. He just can't be, Fudge muttered, his voice quivering. Dumbledore's eyes flashed. You are blinded by the love of the office. You hold, Cornelius. You place too much importance, and you always have done, on the so-called purity of blood." As Fudge stormed out, Dumbledore turned to the others. Issuing orders to reconvene the Order of the Phoenix, the wizarding world was on the brink of war, whether the Ministry chose to recognize it or not. Chapter 31, The Beginning. The end-of-year feast was a somber affair. The great hall was draped in black in memory of Cedric. Dumbledore stood to address the school, honoring Cedric's memory, and despite the Ministry's wishes, telling the truth about his death. Remember, Cedric. Remember, if the time should come when you have to make a choice between what is right and what is easy, remember what happened to a boy who was good and kind and brave, because he strayed across the path of Lord Voldemort as the Hogwarts Express carried them home. Harry felt a mix of dread and determination. He knew dark times lay ahead, but he also knew he wouldn't face them alone. Before parting ways at King's Cross, Hermione gave both Harry and Ron a quick kiss on the cheek. "You'll stay in touch, won't you?" she said anxiously. "Of course we will," Ron replied, looking slightly flustered. As Harry watched his friends disappear into the crowd, he touched the lightning scar on his forehead. It hadn't pained him all year, but somehow he knew this was just the calm before the storm. Whatever lay ahead, he would be ready.